is same, coordination number is same, the oxidation state of the central atom is also same. So because of ligand we can tell that which complex will be more stable. And in a spectrochemical series, if we talk about the order of ligand field energy, then I minus, Br minus, Cl minus and F minus. Here if we compare Br minus and Cl minus, Cl minus is a stronger ligand with respect to Br minus. So if this is complex number 1 and this is complex number 2, I can say that the crystal field splitting energy of complex number 2, delta of complex number 2 should be greater than the delta of complex number 1, right? So on the basis of that we can say that COBr42 minus absorb lesser energy than COCl42 minus, because when we compare this delta, delta is equal to Hc upon lambda absorbed. So higher the value of delta, lesser will be the wavelength, but here they are talking about energy. So we can directly say that COCl42 minus has more energy than COBr2 minus. So the first statement seems to be correct. So this is a true statement. Now moving to the second statement, COCl42 minus has higher crystal field splitting energy than COBr42 minus. This statement also seems to be true. Since this question is memory based, so I don't think that the purpose of asking this question is complete by asking statement 1 and 2 as similar type of thing they are asking. I think that they must asking some wavelength of the energy absorbed, but whatever given in the question, from there we are getting that answer 1 will be correct for this. Moving to the third question, for the following changes, H2O is present in liquid state 5 degrees Celsius and we have to convert into H2O gas at 100 degrees Celsius. So if we try to write that what is the method by which we can move from initial state to final state, we heat this liquid water at 5 degrees Celsius till 100 degrees Celsius. The state of matter will remain liquid, and after that there is change in phase. H2O in liquid state is converted into H2O in gaseous state, right? So here it is 100 degrees Celsius. So at 100 degrees Celsius water will vaporize, and now we have to tell that what is correct about this process. So here when we are talking Q1, when we are heating the water from 5 degrees Celsius to 100 degrees Celsius, we have to give heat energy, so Q1 will be positive. When this process is taking place, if pressure is constant, Qp is equal to delta H, so delta H1 is positive. Now moving from H2O liquid to H2O gas at the boiling point of water, again we have to give heat energy, so Q2 will be positive, and delta H, if the pressure is constant, Qp is equal to delta H, so delta H will also be positive. Since the volume change is negligible here, we can say that the work done here will be approximately 0, and the volume of gas is very large with respect to volume of liquid. If 1 ml of water here is vaporized to gaseous state, it is converted into 1700 ml of water at the boiling point of water, right? So the work done in this process is going to be negative because the volume is going to increase, right? So if we look that for the overall process, we can write that Q is equal to Q1 plus Q2, which is going to be positive. The work done for the whole process is going to be negative. The enthalpy change for this process is going to be positive. So if we go through the options, we are getting 3 as answer. So this is it, and you can see that most of the questions last year also and this year also in chemistry, they are focusing more on the basics and they are coming from NCERT. So those students who are going to give exam in coming days, they should revise NCERT properly. So thank you very much.
I'm Rishabh sir, senior chemistry faculty, and today we are going to discuss JEE Mains Shift 1 paper, 23rd Jan. So in front of me, the first question is, in the reaction sequence, what is the mass in grams of product C formed? They have given a compound, its mass is given, and they're asking what will be the product and what will be its mass. So let's see. The first reagent is SnHCl. We know SnHCl is used for reduction of nitro group to NH2. So B in front of us will be this compound, CH3, and NO2 will be converted to NH2. Now after this, it is treated with acetic anhydride, CH3, C double bond O, O, C double bond O, and CH3. So we know this nitrogen will react with anhydride and this compound will be formed. So it is CH3 and this side will have NH, C double bond O, CH3. After this, it is treated with Br2 in presence of Fe. So we know this Fe will behave as a Lewis acid and it will be used for generation of electrophile. So electrophile which will be generated in this case is Br positive. Now we know this nitrogen is electron donating group and it donates electron by plus M effect. So it will increase the electron density at ortho position and para position. But the para is already occupied, so that's why Br plus will occupy at the ortho position. So Br plus will attack over here and it will be converted to this compound, CH3, Br, NH, C double bond O, and CH3. So this is our final compound. Now they are asking what is the mass of product form. So we can see that this is 137 gram. 137 gram means 1 mole of reactant we are having. So if I'm having 1 mole of the reactant, this product formed will also be 1 mole. And if you see mass of 1 mole of this compound, so that will be equal to 228 gram. So answer for this question will be 228 gram. So I hope the first question is clear. It is based on reduction of nitro group and then reaction of aniline and electrophilic substitution reaction. So multiple concepts have been involved in this question. Let's move to next question. Next question again is from organic chemistry and the question says that which of the following undergo nitration at fastest rate. So again it is based on electrophilic substitution reaction and we know that reactivity or rate of nitration will depend on the electron density in the ring. If there is more electron density in the ring, then reactivity will be more and the rate will also be more. If there is less electron density in the ring, then reactivity will be less and rate will also be less. So let's analyze all the four options. The first one is C6H5NO2. The nitro group which is attached, that is deactivating group. If it is deactivating, it will deactivate it by minus M. If you see next compound C6H5CH3, this CH3 is activating group and it shows hyperconjugation. Because of hyperconjugation, the electron density in the ring will increase. Next one is benzoic acid C6H5COOH. This COOH group is again electron withdrawing group. So this will also decrease the electron density in the ring. And fourth one is C6H5Br bromobenzene. And we also know that bromobenzene is also electron withdrawing group. So if you see all the four options out of these four, second one is having electron donating group attached to it, which means in this case the electron density will be maximum. So rate of reaction will also be maximum in this case. So this question again is based on electrophilic substitution reaction. So previous question also involved the concept of electrophilic substitution reaction. This question again involved the concept of electrophilic substitution reaction. In previous question, it was the directing nature and this question is based on activating and deactivating nature of the substituents. Let's move to the next question. Again question is from organic chemistry. The question says consider the following reaction. They have given an alkyne So but2 is given and they are treating but2 with H2PDC and it is treated with NaNH3 liquid. So we know that in presence of Lindlar's catalyst, but2 will be converted to cis alkene. So cis alkene means this compound should be CH3C, H double bond C, CH3 and H. And in presence of NaNH3 liquid, this is Birch reduction, and in case of Birch reduction, the product which we get is trans alkene. So the product in this case should be this. So if you see the option, the correct answer for this question will be option number 2, in which we have X as cis alkene, Y as trans alkene. So this question is of hydrocarbon chapter, or we can say it is from method of preparation of alkenes. Moving to next question, again we are getting a question from organic chemistry. It is based on purification of organic compounds. Let's read the question first. Given below are two statements. Statement 1. Sublimation is a purification technique that is used to separate those solid substances which changes from solid to vapor state without passing through liquid state. So we all know this statement is correct. Sublimation means conversion from solid to vapor without going into liquid state. So this statement is correct. This statement is correct. Let's read out the statement 2. If external atmospheric pressure is reduced, then boiling point of substance is decreased. So to understand this, we first have to understand what is boiling point or how do we define boiling point. So we say that boiling point is that temperature. Boiling point is that temperature at which vapor pressure exerted by liquid equals the external pressure or atmospheric pressure. The temperature at which the vapor pressure exerted by liquid equals the external pressure or atmospheric pressure. So what they are saying is the external atmospheric pressure is reduced. So if external atmospheric pressure is reduced, then the temperature at which vapor pressure will be equal to that new decreased atmospheric pressure will also be reduced, which means the boiling point of the substance that will also be reduced or decreased. So with that logic, this statement 2 is also correct. So if both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct, then correct answer will be option 1. So these are the 4 questions from JEE Mains shift 1 paper 23rd Jan. Remaining questions my colleague will discuss with you.
Hello students, I am Srinivas, lecturer in physics in Narayana Educational Institutions, Hyderabad. Now let us see some questions of 23rd January 2026 shift 1, which are based on memory. First let us see this question. There are 2 point charges, one at vertex and the other at face as shown in the cube. Find the electric flux through the cube. So here flux due to this charge 2q at the corner is 1 by 8th of q by epsilon naught. That is 2q by epsilon naught. 1 by 8th of 2q by epsilon naught, because flux through the cube due to the charge 2q at the corner is 2q by epsilon naught. That is total flux through the closed Gaussian surface formed with 8 such identical cubes. So flux through that cube is 1 by 8th of 2q by epsilon naught. This is nothing but q by 4 epsilon naught. Next, flux due to this charge q through the cube is half of the flux through the closed surface formed by keeping another cube besides this. So flux due to this charge q is half of q by epsilon naught. So total flux through the cube is sum of these two fluxes, that is q by 4 epsilon naught plus q by 2 epsilon naught. So that is equal to 3q by 4 epsilon naught. This is the total flux through the cube. That is, third option is correct. Next, let us see the next question. If a projectile is being projected with speed v at an angle 60 degrees with horizontal, find the ratio of the speed at highest point Vb to the speed at final point Vc. So here at the highest point, speed of the projectile Vb equal to u cos 60 degrees, that is u by 2. And speed at point C is nothing but u, because the projectile reaches the point C with same speed as it is projected. So the ratio of the speeds Vb by Vc is u by 2 by u. This is 1:2. So the answer is 1:2. So third option is correct. Next, let us see the third question. For the given set of measurements, find the relative error. So here 4 measurements are given. First, let us find the true value of these 4 measurements. The true value is nothing but average of the 4 readings. So it is the average of the 4 readings. So what is that arithmetic mean of these 4 readings? That is the true value. That is 20.00 plus 19.75 plus 18.25 plus 17.01. Sum of this is coming 75.01, and divided by 4, there are 4 measurements. So this is the, so average value is 18.75, nearly it's coming 18.75 average of these. This is the arithmetic mean of the 4 measurements, which we can take it as the true value of the measurements. Next, what is the absolute error of the first measurement? This is a difference between the measurement and the true value. It is nothing but 1.25. Next, what is error in the second measurement? Difference, that is 1.00. Next, what is error in the third measurement? 0.50. Error in the fourth one is 1.25 nearly. So this is a total error, individual errors divided by 4 gives delta A. This is mean absolute error. This is mean error of the 4 measurements. So this is coming 1.12 nearly 1.125. If you do this calculation, this is 1.125. Then what is the relative error? Relative error is mean absolute error divided by the true value. So this is 1.125 divided by 18.75. So this is nearly 0.06 coming. This is the answer. The answer is second option. Okay, let us see the next question. So find out the correct energy for the ground state energy transition. Symbols have usual meanings. That is N to M gives the transition. So here in the first option, in hydrogen, the transition is from third level to second level. Suppose if you see the energy level diagram of hydrogen, this is first orbit energy minus 13.6 electron volts, minus 3 electron volt, 3.4 electron volt is the energy of the second orbit, minus 1.51 electron volt is the energy of third orbit, minus 0.585 electron volt is the energy of fourth orbit. So if you see the first option, from third orbit to second orbit, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. If transition takes place from third orbit to second orbit, the difference of energy is 1.51, that is minus 3.4 electron volts. So it is coming positive value and it is not equal to minus 6.8 electron volts. So first option wrong. If you come to the case of second option, when transition takes place from 2 to 1, 2 to 1, the difference here is 10.2 electron volts and the energy released should be positive because we are coming from higher energy to lower energy and this is 10.2 electron volts. And in the case of lithium, 10.2 into Z square, Z is 3, so 10.2 into 9, so which is 90 point something. So the second option also wrong. So if you come to the case of He plus, that is singly ionized helium, in this when electron transition takes place from second orbit to first orbit, so the energy released delta E equal to 10.2 electron volt into Z square. Z here is 4 for helium. So 10.2 into 4, that gives 40.8 electron volts. So the option 3 is correct. Okay.
Questions of today's shift. So the first question is, you can consider a bit lengthy here. So first we have to see how to draw the effective circuit diagram for this case. Normally what we might be tempted for is a diagram somewhat like this. Here the properties are going to be K1 A d by 2, here K2 A by 2 and d by 2 thickness. In this case K3 A by 2 and d by 2. We need to be careful that this arrangement is wrong because considering these two capacitors in parallel here will be wrong. Why? Because the electric field is going to be different in these two segments. So the potential difference across this part is not going to be same. If the potential difference is not same, then these two cannot be parallel. So the correct effective circuit diagram in this case is going to be, this here is wrong, be careful. The correct one will look somewhat like that, where the upper half of K1 and K2 part along with lower half of K1 along with K3 in series. These are the 2 points here, you can see, and properties being K1 A by 2 and D by 2. This also K1 A by 2 and D by 2. The other ones being K2 A by 2 and D by 2 as thickness, and here K3 A by 2 and D by 2. These are the properties. So the top two are in series, top two and bottom two are in series, and together they are in parallel to each other. Solving this will give us the correct answer. So in series, as we know, C1 C2 in series C1 C2, the effective capacitance is C1 C2 divided by C1 plus C2, while parallel C1 C2 effective capacitance is C1 plus C2. So what we are going to do is the top two in series, lower two in series, and then add them directly for the parallel outcome. That's what we have here. So going for that, so upper capacitor, again we can go for that diagram. So this capacitance being K1 for parallel plate capacitor, capacitance is epsilon naught A by D. So we'll be using that relation. So K1 epsilon naught, area is A by 2 and the separation between the plates is D by 2. Similarly here K2 epsilon naught A by 2 divided by D by 2. K1 epsilon naught A by 2 divided by D by 2, and here K3 epsilon naught A by 2 divided by D by 2. Now we just need to simplify this diagram here, giving us, so the top two capacitors are going to be as follows here. That's K1 epsilon naught A by D, half and half can be cancelled. K2 epsilon naught A by D, and again half and half can be cancelled. K1 epsilon naught A by D, and here K3 epsilon naught A by D. Now for the final result, what we will do is the top two in series, lower two in series, and then overall in parallel. So top two combination is going to be C1 C2 divided by C1 plus C2. So K1 epsilon naught A by D multiplied by K2 epsilon naught A by D divided by C1 plus C2, that I can write down as K1 plus K2 effectively epsilon naught A by D. Epsilon naught A by D I have taken out from both the terms K1 K2 here, plus the lower part, which is K1 epsilon naught A by D multiplied by K3 epsilon naught A by D overall divided by K1 plus K3 epsilon naught A by D. And here, as you can see, we can simplify that by cancelling one of the terms here like that. So this is the overall result. Going further, we can solve it. So if you see in the numerator here, we have K1 K2 divided by K1 plus K2, and on the right side we have K1 K3 divided by K1 plus K3. I'll solve it in the next page. So C equivalent here comes out to be K1 K2 divided by K1 plus K2 plus again K1 K3 divided by K1 plus K3 epsilon naught A by D. Again I'm taking out from both the terms like that. Now solving for that, look at the values. So K1 and K2 are given to be 3 and 5, K3 is 2. So we can put here K1 is 3, K2 is 5 and K3 is 2. So just put the values here. So 5 into 3 is 15 over 8 plus 3 into 2 is 6 over 5. Epsilon naught A by D. We can go further. 40, 15, 5. Epsilon naught A by D. So adding it, 75 plus 48 divided by 40, epsilon naught A by D, finally giving us 853, 123 by 40, epsilon naught A by D. Let's check any option matches or not. 123 by 40, epsilon naught A by D. So if you observe here, 123 A by D, epsilon naught A by D, first option is the correct option. As you can see, this is a bit longer in calculation, but we have done that in classes in regular. Going to the next question. Now this is based on simple pendulum and the length is given, time periods they are giving, and they're asking us to find out length of the another pendulum which completes 40 oscillations at the same time. So for time period of pendulum is directly proportional to root of the length of the pendulum. So you have this relation T is equal to 2 pi root over L by G. So this is what we have. They're not talking about any planet or something. So we can use directly this one. So T1 by T2 is going to be equal to root over L1 by L2. So what is the T1? So it does 20 oscillations in 10 seconds. So what is the time taken per oscillation here? So 10 seconds divided by 20 oscillations, the time period will come out to be half. For the next case, we are getting 10 seconds for 40 oscillations. So time taken will become 1 by 4 seconds, giving us a root over L1. L1 is 3 meter and L2 we are trying to find. This gives us 2 is equal to 3 over L2 square root, eventually giving us L2 is equal to 3 by 4 meter, which is equal to 0.75 meter. So option A, or the first one, is the correct answer here. Going further, this was a bit easy one. Now this question, so this also you can consider a bit on the better side. So main idea here is that two blocks are coming towards each other, one going with 30 meter per second with 25 kg mass, and the other block of the same nature with mass 15 kg and going towards that with 10 meter per second. What is going to, they are going to collide. The combined mass is going to become 40, and this will eventually go with some common velocity v. To solve the question, we need to do what is whatever loss we are getting, that all of that loss is converting to thermal energy. That's the basic idea in this question. So we can find the loss in a bit longer method by conserving momentum and finding velocity, and therefore finding the loss directly. There is a better way or quicker way of doing that. Is any energy in the center of mass frame can be lost in a collision like that. So maximum possible loss in a mechanical system can be the energy that the system has in a center of mass frame. So kinetic energy of two particle system in center of mass frame is given by the relation half mu v relative whole square, and this thing is supposed to be equal to mc ms or c delta T. S is the specific heat, here C is given here. We're fine. So we need to get this thing done. and half mu velocity square is the kinetic energy of system in the center of mass frame, which is the maximum possible loss that we can have in a system like that. For two particle system, this is what we have, and mu is called as reduced mass. Solving for that, value of mu is going to be half. Mu is m1 m2 divided by m1 plus m2. So I'll write down for the first time. So m1 m2 divided by m1 plus m2 into v relative of the bodies whole square is equal to m s specific heat or c specific heat. The value symbols are okay. Solving for that, giving us half. So I have 25 into 15 divided by 25 plus 15, which is 40 here. Relative velocity, see that these two are going towards each other. So relative velocity is going to become 30 plus 10 whole square is equal to, again, m is total mass is going to be 40, and notice that mass is in kg and the specific heat given here is 5 calories per gram degree Celsius. We have to be careful with this. Mass here is in kg. So this what we get, so we have to make it kg, you have to multiply with 1000. So 5000 calories per kg per degree Celsius now, multiplied by delta T. Notice that right now the units here, let me rewrite that with the units so that we are a bit sure what is happening. So entire thing on the left is in joules, we have 40 is in kg, and specific heat is 5000 calories per kg per degree Celsius. Now this I have made it like that by multiplying 1000 into, now notice that on the left side we have joule, on the right side things are in calories, we have to convert that further. So here I have to further multiply by 4.2 joule per calorie. Now this is the entire result, we have to simplify it now. So let's go one step further, giving us half into 25 into 15 divided by 40 multiplied by 40 square is equal to 40 into 5000 into 4.2 delta T. So you can see this 40 here cancels one here, and this 40 cancels the other one. And now we can simplify it further. 25 will take it 200 times, and let's write down delta T here is equal to half 15 divided by 200 into 4.2 degrees Celsius. Let's solve this one. So 5 3 times 40, and this 3 will cancel it in 1.4 times. Overall the answer being 1 over 2 times 40 into 1.4 degrees Celsius. Eventually it will become 1 over 112 degrees Celsius. So giving us the second option as the correct option here. So units you have to be careful about here, and I hope this we understand this relation here. If not, we can directly solve it by conservation of momentum and then finding the loss in kinetic energy total, which is equal to thermal energy generated here. So ms delta T or mc delta T, specific heat capacity. Go to the next one. We have question based on springs. One correction here. The mass here is supposed to be m1 and m2. Again, keep in mind these are memory based questions, so we have to take it for the face value. So we need to understand in the equilibrium situation, this spring must have been elongated by some amount m1g by k1. How to do that? Simply k1 x1 is equal to the weight, which is m1g. So x1 comes out to be m1g by k1. Similarly, x2 will come out to be m2g by k2. Now the ratio of the energy stored in the spring they are asking for, so I'll assume that spring 1 is spring 2. So u1 by u2 is going to be equal to half k1 x1 square divided by half k2 x2 square. So half and half can be cancelled. I have k1. What is x1 here? m1g by k1 whole square divided by k2 times m2g by k2 whole square, eventually giving us the final relation u1 by u2, as you can simplify that m1 over m2 whole square into k2 over k1. This is what we have. Now taking the ratios from here, so look at the relation here. So in this case, so it's given 4m1 is equal to m2, giving us m1 over m2 as 1 by 4, and 2k2 is equal to k1, sorry, k1 is equal to k2. So I get k2 by k1 as 2 here. I'll just put the values here. 1 over 4 whole square is going to be 1 over 16 multiplied by 2, giving us the final answer as 1 over 8. So in this case, making option third as the correct answer here. So these are all the questions that we have till now. We'll come with the remaining questions.
Good morning, dear students. Today's, that is 23rd morning shift mathematics memory based questions just came. The first one is a rectangle which is formed by the lines x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0, x is equal to 3, y is equal to 4. A line perpendicular to 3x plus 4y plus 6 is equal to 0 divides the rectangle into two equal parts. Then the distance of the line from -1 comma 3 by 2 they are asking. Now a rectangle is formed by the lines x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0. X is equal to 0 means we know that it is the y-axis, and y is equal to 0 is x-axis, and x is equal to 3 is a vertical line, y is equal to 4 is a horizontal line. That is, by using the coordinate axis, one rectangle is formed. One rectangle is formed. That is, the rectangle is like coordinate system. As we know that x-axis, y-axis, and the line x is equal to 3, which is vertical line, x is equal to 3, and y is equal to 4. This is y is equal to 4. Now, the rectangle is formed by the origin 0, 0, and suppose the point of intersection of the x-axis and the line x is equal to 3 is a point, and the lines x is equal to 3, y is equal to 4 intersecting at a point B, and the line y is equal to 4 and y-axis intersecting at a point C. Now the coordinates becomes as O, as we know that 0, 0, and A coordinates are 3, 0, B coordinates are 3, 4, and C coordinates are 0, 4. These are the coordinates of the rectangle. Now, a line which is perpendicular to 3x plus 4y is equal to 6 divides the rectangle into two equal parts. The rectangle is divided into two equal parts by a line means definitely that line should pass us through the center of the rectangle. It is very, very important point. So, it is particular point. The problem is based on a particular point, that is, a line divides the rectangle into two equal parts means that line always passes through the center of the rectangle. So to find the center of the rectangle, we are going to join the diagonals. By joining the diagonals, they are intersecting. That point of intersection is called as the center. Now to find the center of the rectangle, we are using either the points origin and B or the points A and C. So the midpoint of the any diagonal is the center of the rectangle. So the center of the rectangle first we are going to find out. Center is equal to the midpoint of OB, midpoint of OB, midpoint of OB, or the midpoint of AC. Now midpoint of OB means we know that. How we are finding the midpoint? The midpoint formula is x1 plus x2 by 2, y1 plus y2 by 2. So by using O and B coordinates, we are finding the center. The center of the rectangle becomes as x1 0 plus 3 by 2, that is 3 by 2, 0 plus 4 by 2, it is 2. So the center of the rectangle is 3 by 2 comma 2. The required line passing through this center and perpendicular to the line 3x plus 4y plus 6 is equal to 0. Now we have a formula. The perpendicular line which is perpendicular, the line perpendicular to the line ax plus by plus c is equal to 0 is bx minus ay is equal to bx1 minus ay1. By using that one, the required line equation, the required line is directly we are writing the perpendicular line of 3x plus 4y plus 6 is equal to 0 is we are writing that one as 4x minus 3y is equal to 4 times of 3 by 2 minus 3 times of 2. By simplifying this one, we get the required line. That is, the required line is 4x minus 3y is equal to 0. This is the required line. Now, for this line, we are going to find out the distance from the point minus 1 comma 3 by 2. It involves the perpendicular distance formula. So, as we know that the perpendicular distance formula to the line ax plus by plus c is ax1 mod ax1 plus by1 plus c upon square root of a square plus b square. So, the required distance is equal to mod 4 into the x coordinate of the center is 3 by 2 minus, here they are asking the distance from the, not from the center, they asked the distance from the point minus 1 comma 3 by 2. That's why mod 4 times of the x coordinate is minus 1 minus 3 times of 3 by 2 upon square root of 4 square plus minus 3 whole square. Now the simplifying this one, this is equal to, by simplifying this one we get as, that is minus 8 minus 6, that is minus 9, it is 17 by 10, 17 by 10. So the answer is option B, that is 17 by 10. The problem is simple, but it involves a concept, a line which divides the rectangle into two equal parts means definitely that line should pass us through the center of the rectangle. By using that concept, this problem is simple. If the student doesn't know that one, then the problem may be somewhat difficult. So the level of the problem is like it is moderate if the student knows the center, that is the required line passes through the center. Next, the second question. The second question, observe, let A is equal to set of minus 2 comma minus 1 comma 0 comma 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 and R be a relation such that R is equal to set of all ordered pairs x comma y such that 2x plus y is less than or equal to minus 2 where x belongs to A, y belongs to A. Let L is equal to number of elements in R. M is equal to minimum number of elements to be added in R to make it reflexive. N is equal to minimum number of elements to be added in R to make it symmetric. Then L plus M plus N they are asking. This model problem frequently asked in the mains level question. So this is related to the relations and the student able to answer this one definitely because it is very simple problem and it is related to the relations concept and they are asking just how many number of elements in the relation given are and how many elements we are going to be add to make the given relation reflexive and to make the symmetric. That's why first we are going to finding the number of elements in the given relation. The given relation is defined as here 2x plus y, 2x plus y is less than or equal to minus 2. This is the given relation between x and y, x and y. Now from this it is very clear y is less than or equal to minus 2 minus 2x, or y is less than or equal to, by taking minus 2 common, x plus 1. Now x can be assigned any one of the value of minus 2 from the set A. That is, first we are going to start with x is equal to minus 2. If x is equal to minus 2, then y is less than or equal to minus 2 times of minus 2 plus 1. This is equal to, this becomes 2. That is, y is less than or equal to 2. Y is less than or equal to 2 means there are the possibilities. Y is equal to, the possibilities are minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1 and 2. That is, it gives when x is equal to minus 2, y is any one of these values, that is minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2. That is, here the elements in the relation are minus 2 comma minus 2, minus 2 comma minus 1, minus 2 comma 0, minus 2 comma 1 and minus 2 comma 2. Next, similarly we are going to calculate for x is equal to minus 1. For x is equal to minus 1. If x is equal to minus 1, then y is less than or equal to minus 2 times of minus 1 plus 1 is equal to 0. That is, y is less than or equal to 0. Y is less than or equal to 0 means in the given set, the y values are minus 2, minus 1, 0. In this case, the elements in the relation are minus 1, minus 2, minus 1, minus 1 and minus 1 comma 0. Next, similarly when x is equal to 0, y is less than or equal to, when x is equal to 0, y is less than or equal to here minus 2 into 1. That is, y is less than or equal to minus 2. When y is less than or equal to minus 2 means only there exists one element, 0 comma minus 2. Now for x is equal to other elements. Other elements means here x is equal to, for x is equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4, there is no y. There is no y. Y does not belongs to A. Y does not belongs to A. So therefore, the relation R contains the elements minus 2 comma minus 2, minus 2 comma, just we are listing out all these, minus 2 comma minus 1, minus 2 comma 0, minus 2 comma 1 and minus 2 comma 2, minus 2 comma 2. Next, again minus 1 comma minus 2, minus 1 comma minus 1, minus 1 comma 0 and 0 comma minus 2. This is the given relation. Now it has how many elements we are going to calculate? That is, first 5 plus 3, 8, 8 plus 1, 9. So L is equal to 9. L is equal to 9. Similarly, now you observe here R is the given relation. The given relation is reflexive. To make this one as reflexive, the set has minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. That's why to make this one as the reflexive relation, we are adding the elements. Adding the elements. For minus 1, we want minus 1 comma 1. Already there exists minus 1 comma 1. Now for 0, there is no element 0 comma 0. So we are adding 0 comma 0. Next, similarly 1 comma 1. Next, we are adding 2 comma 2, 3 comma 3 and 4 comma 4. So by adding these elements, the relation becomes as the reflexive. That is, M is equal to here 5. And to make this one as the symmetric, to make the symmetric relation, to make it symmetric, we are adding, observe, minus 2 comma minus 2, it is okay. Minus 2 comma minus 1 is there, minus 1 comma minus 2 is there, minus 2 comma 0, but 0 comma minus 2 is there, and minus 2 comma 1, but the relation doesn't have 1 comma minus 2. That's why we are adding 1 comma minus 2. Next, minus 2 comma 2 is there, but 2 comma minus 2 does not exist. That's why we are adding that one also, 2 comma minus 2. Next, minus 1 comma minus 2, it exists. Minus 1 comma minus 1, okay. Minus 1 comma 0 is there, the element minus 1 comma 0. To make the symmetric, we are adding 0 comma minus 1, 0 comma minus 1, and 0 comma minus 2 is here, minus 2 comma 0. So to make the relation R as symmetric, we are adding 3 elements. That becomes n is equal to 3. Now what they are asking, L plus M plus N they are asking. L plus M plus N is equal to, L is equal to 9 plus M is equal to 5 plus N is equal to 3. That is total 17. So L plus M plus N is equal to 17. This problem is simple problem and regular modalities. So here everyone solves this one number. I think it is good. Next one is, next one, the number of 4-letter words with or without meaning formed from the letters of the word P, Q, R, S, 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 T, T, U, V, V. Number of 4-letter words with or without meaning formed from the letters of the word P, Q, R, triple S, double T, U, double V is there. 4-letter words they are asking. The problem is solved by using the cases. That is better. By using the cases, we are solving this problem. The number of 4-letter words they are asking, they are not asking total letters, just 4-letter words they are asking. So I'm going to divide this one into the different cases. That is the first case one, 4 letters are distinct. 4 letters are distinct. 4 letters are distinct. If the 4 letters are distinct, this is case 1. 4 letters are distinct. If the 4 letters are distinct, the number of words in this case is equal to total here distinct letters are P, Q, R, S, T, U, V. So 7 letters are there, that is 7P4 or 7C4 into 4 factorial. 7P4 or 7C4 into 4 factorial. Now by simplifying 7P4, it is 35 into 4 factorial, and 35 into 24, it becomes as 840. 840 it is. Next, case 2. Out of the 4 letters, I am taking 2 similar letters. That is, 2 are identical. Plus the remaining 2 are also identical. 2 are identical and 2 are identical. 2 are identical and 2 are identical. So here first we need to select the 2 identical letters. That is, we are going to select in 3 S's and 2 T's, 2 V's. We are going to select these 2 blocks, that is 3C2 ways, and they can be arranged in 4 factorial by 2 factorial into 2 factorial. Now by simplifying this one, 3C2 into 4 factorial upon 2 factorial into 2 factorial, that is, by simplifying this one, 3C2 is 3 into 4 factorial by 2 factorial into 2 factorial, that is 4 into 3, that is 6, is equal to 18. In this case, 18 words are formed. That is, in this case, the words are in the form of like, SS, TT, that type of words we are forming in this case. Next, case 3. Case 3. In case 3, we are taking 2 distinct letters, 2 identical. 2 identical plus 2 distinct letters. 2 distinct letters. So it can be done in how many ways? By observing the given word PQR, SSS, TTUVV, the two distinct letters can be chosen, or first we are choosing two identical letters in 3C1 ways, and the remaining two letters can be chosen from the remaining 6 blocks, that is 6C2 ways. Now they can be arranged in 4 factorial by 2 factorial ways. By simplifying this one, we get 540. It is 540. 6C2 into 4 factorial by 2 factorial. Next, case 4. In this case, 3 identical letters, 3 identical plus 1 distinct. 3 identical plus 1 distinct. In this case, 3 identical means only one possibility is there. Out of 3 S's, we can choose 3 S's in one way, into the remaining one letter. To form the 4 letter words, we want 4 letters. First, I am choosing the 3 S's in one way, and the remaining one letter can be chosen from the remaining 6 blocks in 6C1 ways. 6C1 ways, and they can be arranged in 4 factorial by 3 factorial ways. Now, the total number of words in this case are 24. By adding all these, we get the total number of words, that is, by adding all these, we are adding all these, 840 in the case 1, second case 18, third case 540, and fourth case 24, that is 2, 2, and this is 14, 2, 2, 1422. 1422 is the right option. 1422. 1422. The question is time taking. The question is time taking, and careful observation is very, very important. That is, first of all, to handle this question, you can use the blocks concept. Blocks concept means single letters. That is, P is the single letter, Q is the single letter, R is the single letter, and U is the single letter. These 4 single letters we are taking as 4 blocks, and 3 S's, 2 T's, 2 V's we are taking as 3 blocks. Total 7 blocks. Out of these 7 blocks, we are going to categorize. That is, if the 4 letters in the 4 letter words, if the 4 letters are distinct. 4 letters are distinct means from the 7 blocks we are going to choose only 4. That is, it can be done in 74 ways. So the total is 840 words in that case. 2 are identical plus 2 are identical. 2 letters are identical and 2 letters are identical means the 2 blocks, that is, there are 3 blocks. Those 3 blocks contains more than 2 letters exactly. So out of those 3 blocks, we are choosing 2 blocks, and each block has minimum 2 letters. So 3C2, we can choose 2 blocks out of 3 blocks in 3C2 ways, and we are arranging them in 4 factorial by 2 factorial into 2 factorial ways, that is 18. Similarly, the third case, 2 identical plus 2 distinct means again from the 3 blocks we are choosing one of the block, and the remaining 6 blocks we are choosing 2 letters. That is, it can be arranged, these can be arranged in 4 factorial by 2 factorial. Now by simplifying this one, 540. 3 identical plus 1 distinct. 3 identical means only one possibility. 3 S's, it can be done in one way, and the remaining 6 blocks, from the remaining 6 blocks, one can be chosen, one block can be chosen, and the total number of letters are 4. So 4 factorial by 3 are identical, hence 4 factorial by 3 factorial. So in this case, the number of words are 24. The total 1422. This is the fourth question, direct from the permutations and combinations. Problem is moderate. Next one. Next problem. The value of 100C 50 by 51 plus 100C 51 by 52 plus so on 100C 100 upon 101. The question is related to the binomial coefficients, and it is a regular model question. The sum of the binomial coefficient they are asking. In this case, we are using general formula. The sum of the binomial coefficients, we have the formula NC0 plus NC1 plus NC2 plus so on plus NCn is equal to 2 to the power of n. By using that one, we are solving this one. See that? Suppose the value we don't know this one. I am taking this one as S. Let S is equal to, let S is equal to, let S is equal to 1 by 51 times of 100 C 50 plus 1 by 52 times of 100 C 51 plus so on plus 1 by 101 into 100 C 100. Now I am using summation. Summation R is equal to 50 to 100 and 1 by R plus 1 100 CR it is. In the compact form, the given sum can be written as summation R is equal to 50 to 100 1 by R plus 1 100 CR. Now here we are using the formula, that is NCR is equal to, we have a formula, since NCR is equal to N by R into N minus 1 C R minus 1 formula we are using. By using this formula, we are manipulating this one as R is equal to 50 to 100. Now here is the R plus 1. Here I am going to divide with 101. This is 101 by R plus 1, 100 CR I am writing. Now this is equal to summation R is equal to 50 to 100, 1 by 101 into 101 by R plus 1, 100 CR becomes as 101 C R plus 1. Now we are going to write this one as 1 by 101 into summation R is equal to 50 to 100, 101 C R plus 1. Now we are going to expand this one. By expanding this one, we are expanding, that is S is equal to 1 by 101 into 101 C 51, 101 C 51 plus 101 C 52 plus 101 C 53 plus so on 101 C 101. We get this. Now as we know the formula, that is NCR is equal to NC N minus R. I am applying this formula. This is equation number 1 and S is equal to 1 by 101 into, by using this formula, 101 C50 plus 101 C49 plus 101 C48 plus so on plus 101 C0. This is equation number 2. By adding 1 and 2, we are adding 1 and 2. Adding 1 and 2, we get 2S is equal to 1 by 101 times of 101 C0 plus 101 C1 plus so on plus 101 C50 from the second equation. From the first equation, 101 C51 plus so on plus 101 C101. Now observe, this one is direct formula. It is in the form of NC0 plus NC1 plus so on plus NCN. Now the value of this one is 1 by 101 into 2 to the power of 101. But we want S value. So therefore S is equal to 2 to the power of 100 by 101. Observing the options, the option 3 is right. So here observing the 4 problems, there is nothing new. All the problems are in the known model.
Hello everyone, I am Shivanand Upadhyay and you are watching Narayana YouTube. So let us discuss questions of chemistry on 23rd January. So the question is chromium oxalate and cobalt oxalate ions. Find the ratio of crystal field splitting energy of first and second complex. Neglect pairing energy and consider delta naught for both complexes Bx. So chromium plus 3, if we write the electronic configuration of chromium, chromium is 3d5 4s1. If we remove 3 electron from that, we can write 4s0 3d3, and it is an octahedral complex. So if we fill 3 electrons, first we fill electrons in T2G orbitals, and there are 3 electrons. So T2G orbitals occupy 3 electrons. And with respect to Bury center, if we try to write that what is the energy of this T2G orbitals, so that is this value will be minus 0.4 times of delta naught. The value of delta naught, they are saying that it will be x. So if I try to calculate what is the value of CFSE, crystal field splitting energy for this, or stabilization energy for this, we should write there are 3 electrons and corresponding to each electron the energy is minus 0.4 times of x. So this value will be minus 1.2 times of x. In case of cobalt complex, cobalt is present in plus 3 oxidation state. If we try to write the electronic configuration, it will be 3d6 4s0, again octahedral complex. So these 6 electrons, if we try to add, we know that in case of oxalate ion, the crystal field splitting energy is greater than mean pairing energy. This data is asked in in JEE Mains and Advanced many times, and this is given in NCERT also, right? So based on that, we first fill one electron to T2G orbital, and then pairing will take place. So all the 6 electrons will be present in T2G orbital. So if we try to write that what is the crystal field splitting energy, that is equal to again 6 times of minus 0.4x. So this value will be minus 2.4 times of x. If this is complex number 1 and this is complex number 2, and we have to find out the ratio of CFSE of first and second, so we can write that the ratio of CFSE of first upon ratio of CFSE of second is equal to 1:2. So answer for this will be 2. Moving to the next problem. The next problem is related to electrochemical cells. So on the left hand side it is metal insoluble salt and iron half cell. On the right hand side this will be oxidation reduction half cell. There will be a comma over here. There is not vertical line because the same solution contains both iron plus 2 and iron plus 3. So we have to find that in which case EMF of the cell is going to increase. So if we try to write that what is the reaction taking place at anode, so oxidation is taking place. So metal plus Cl minus iron will form AgCl solid and 1 electron. The reaction taking place at cathode, it is oxidation reduction half cell. We have to write reduction potential. So iron plus 3 in aqueous state will accept 1 electron to form iron 2 plus in aqueous state. And if we try to write that what is the overall reaction quotient for this reaction, so we should write here on the numerator it will be iron plus 2 in aqueous state. In the denominator it should be the concentration of Cl minus iron and concentration of iron plus 3 iron. So EMF of this cell is equal to E naught of the cell minus 0.0592. Nothing is mentioned, so we are taking room temperature. Number of electrons will be 1 log Q. So on increasing the value of Q, we know that the EMF of the cell is going to decrease. On decreasing the value of Q, the EMF of the cell should increase. So they are asking that in which case the EMF of the cell is going to increase. So if we decrease the concentration of if we increase the concentration of Cl minus ion, so on increasing the concentration of Cl minus ion and on increasing the concentration of iron 3 plus ion, the value of reaction quotient is going to decrease and the EMF of the cell is going to increase. So from here we are getting that the third option will be correct. On increasing the concentration of Fe3 plus ion and Cl minus ion, the EMF of the cell is increasing. Let us move to the third question. So consider the following statement and choose the correct options. Nickel forms red color complex with DMG. Nickel 2 plus complex with DMG contains two rings of 5-membered. Nickel 2 plus has two unpaired electrons in d orbitals in the complex. Nickel 2 plus complex with DMG is soluble at pH 9. So we know that this is a very famous test for nickel 2 plus ion. Nickel 2 plus ion present in aqueous state in presence of DMG minus ion, there is formation of a red color precipitate NiDMG whole twice. So this is a red precipitate and the first option seems to be correct according to this. Then if we try to draw the structure, because this is a square planar complex, if we try to draw the structure, nickel is the central atom and this dimethyl glyoxymato ion. So dimethyl glyoxime, we can draw the structure in basic medium. 1H plus will be released and there is formation of glyoxymato ion. So here one negative charge is there and this nitrogen contains one OH group. Similarly, we can draw here another dimethyl glyoxymato. So CH3 and CH3 over here, this is carbon double bond nitrogen, carbon double bond nitrogen. This will be OH and there is hydrogen bonding. Here O minus and there will be another hydrogen bond over here. And the nickel nitrogen atoms are donating electrons to nickel atoms. So there is formation of many rings over here. We have to see that how many rings are formed. 5-membered rings are formed, right? So we have to calculate how many 5-membered rings are formed. So here nitrogen is donating this electron to nickel and this nitrogen is also donating to nickel. Now you can check here that this is a 5-membered ring. So there is one 5-membered ring over here, another 5-membered ring over here. If you see, this is a 6-membered ring and this is also a 6-membered ring. So the second option is nickel complex with the DMG contains two rings of 5-membered. This seems to be correct. First and second options are correct. A and B options, A and B is correct. Nickel has two unpaired electrons because it is a square planar. So the splitting of orbitals takes place like this, and if we try to fill electrons, 8 electrons will be filled like this, and because of that this d orbital will be vacant, right? So because of that we can write dsp2 hybridization. So C option will be wrong. Nickel complex with DMG is soluble at pH 9. In fact, it is insoluble and it is forming red color precipitate. Sometimes this red is known as rosy red color precipitate, right? So if we go through the options, A and B options, A and B is correct. So 1 is the answer for this question. So thank you very much.
Hello students, let's start with another set of questions from Shift 1 paper. So this question is from organic chemistry. In this they have given CH3, CH2, CN. First it is treated with tin and HCl, and then it is treated with H3O plus to get A, and then CH3, CH double bond CH single bond CH3. It is treated with O3, zinc and water to give B. Now they are saying A and B are mixed and treated with dilute base to give a mixture of products. Choose the incorrect product. They are saying incorrect product. So we can see in the first reaction, if I'm having CH3, CH2, CN, when it is treated with tin and HCl, it will be converted to CH3, CH2, CH double bond NH. And when this is hydrolyzed, we'll get CH3, CH2, C double bond O and H. So, propanol is the product of first reaction. In second reaction, it is reductive ozonolysis. O3 zinc and H2O, that is used for reductive ozonolysis. So the product of reductive ozonolysis will be CH3, CH double bond O plus CH3, CH double bond O. It means A is our propanol, B is our ethanol. Now they are saying A and B are mixed and treated with dilute base. So when they are treated with dilute base, it will undergo aldol condensation reaction. It is aldol condensation reaction. So we have to find that which is not the product of aldol condensation. So if you see, we have CH3, CHO. So if you do aldol condensation of CH3, CHO, then the product will be CH3, CH, double bond CH, single bond CHO, which is our option 1. So option 1 is eliminated. Same way, if I'm having CH3, CH2, CHO, if you do aldol condensation of this molecule, then it will give us CH3, C, single bond CHO, double bond CH, single bond CH2 and CH3, which means it is option number 2. We can see CH3, then C, double bond CH, CH2, CH3, and other side we have CHO group. So 2 is also not the answer. Now if you do cross aldol condensation of CH3CHO and CH3CH2CHO. So when this is treated with OH minus and heat, then the product of this reaction will be CH3CH double bond C, CH3 single bond CHO, which is our option 4. So 4 is also not possible. So the correct answer for this question is option 3, which we will not get as the product of aldol condensation. Let's move to next question. Next question is from inorganic chemistry and it is based on group 13, which is boron family. So they have given 4 statements and they're asking which all are correct out of these 4. So first one is electronegativity decreases regularly down the group. So this statement is incorrect. There is no regular decrease. There is irregular decrease down the group. Next they are saying ionic radii decreases down the group. That is incorrect. In case of boron family or in case of any group of elements, down the group radius will increase. So this also is incorrect. So first is incorrect, second is incorrect. Third one is boron has highest ionization energy. This statement is correct. Out of all the elements, boron will have highest ionization energy and indium will have lowest ionization energy. And trichloride of aluminium are covalent in nature. Trichloride of aluminium means they are talking about AlCl3. So yes, AlCl3 is ionic in AlCl3 is covalent in nature, and we should also know that AlF3, it is ionic. AlF3 is ionic, but AlCl3, that is covalent in nature. So statement C is correct, statement D is correct, which means correct answer is option 2, that is C and D. Let's move to the next question. Next question again is from organic chemistry. They have given set of tests and they're asking what is the observation of that test. So first one is Bayer's unsaturation test. Bayer's unsaturation test, as the name suggests, it is test of unsaturation, that is alkenes. And in Bayer's unsaturation test, there is discharge of pink color. So A will be 4. Steric ammonium nitrate test of alcohols. In case of steric ammonium nitrate test, alcohol form a complex which will have red color. So A is fourth one, B is second. In tolerance reagent test, there is formation of silver which will give mirror like appearance. So we can say in case of tolerance test, silver mirror is obtained. So C is 3. And FeCl3 test of phenol, again a complex formation takes place, and because of that complex formation it gives violet or purple color. It means this is 1. So 4, 2, 3, 1. Correct answer is option 3. So this was from organic chemistry test of compounds. Let's move to the next question. They have taken a question from biomolecules. Question is, consider the following molecules. They have given 4 molecules. The example of non-reducing sugars. So we know that if hemiacetal group is present, then that will be reducing sugar. And if acetyl group is present, then that will be non-reducing sugar. So we can see A and B has hemiacetal group. A and B has hemiacetal group over here. So they are reducing sugar. C has acetyl group, D has acetyl group. So this will be non-reducing sugar. So correct answer for this question is option 4, that is C and D. Let's see the next question. Next question is from inorganic chemistry. They have given some molecules, that is HNO3, NF3, H2SO4 and O3. Consider the molecule T, okay, one of them is T, having maximum number of lone pairs on all atoms. So maximum number of lone pair, as we can see clearly, it is going to be NF3. If you see NF3, NF3 will have one lone pair on nitrogen, one lone pair on nitrogen, and each fluorine will have 3 lone pairs. Each fluorine will have a total of 3 lone pairs. So NF3 molecule is going to have 10 lone pair of electrons in total. 10 lone pair of electrons. Now what they are asking about this molecule? The bond angle where M is central atom in T. So this bond angle they are asking. So this bond angle is close to 102 to 103 degree. So correct answer for this question will be option number 3, that is 102 to 103. So I hope these all questions are clear to you.
Hello students, so we are meeting again with the discussion of 23rd Gen morning shift paper. We are going to discuss here some questions of physics. So the first question which we have here is based on optics. It's a dispersion question. The question is asking you find A, the angle of second prism, so that there is a dispersion without deviation. We don't need any net deviation here. The refractive index of prisms are given, one prism angle of prism is also given, second prism angle of prism they are asking. So we need to find net deviation 0 if our net deviation, if our net deviation is 0, then the total deviation created by two prisms should cancel out. That means already the prisms are inverted, so delta 1 should be equal to delta 2 already as they are inverted. So I can say A of the first prism, which is 5 degree, into mu of the prism, which is 1.72 minus 1, should be equal to second prism angle A into its refractive index 1.90 minus 1. Just rearrange this expression, you will get A equal to 5 into 1.72 minus 1, 0.72 whole divided by 0.90. Just solve this, you are going to get 4 degree. So correct answer of this question should be second option. Let's proceed to the next question. In the second question, we have 4 different materials whose strain and stress relationship is given to you. The question is asking which of the following material has bigger Young's modulus. The Young's modulus or modulus of elasticity of the material should be defined by stress by strain.
I'm going to use sigma for the stress and strain I'm representing by epsilon. The graph given is strain in y-axis, stress in x-axis. So please take care of it. For the same strain, you can look at in the graph, the D graph has most stress. So because stress is more in D, that's why it should have more Young modulus. So best option for this question is option D. Let's go to next question. The next question is based on semiconductors. It's a Zener diode based question. Let's see what the question is asking. For the given circuit, the breakdown voltage of Zener diode is 5 volt. So this Zener diode can work with 5 volt voltage drop. Let us use some different color which is visible better. So this voltage drop here is 5 volt. Now they are saying that it can withstand a maximum current of 5 milliampere. So the current which can flow in this Zener diode is 5 milliampere. Because suppose Zener diode is working properly in breakdown mode, so Zener diode potential drop will be 5 volt. Parallel to it, we can see there is a 5 kilo ohm resistor also. So 5 volt by 5 kilo ohm, there can be 1 milliampere current through this. This 5 and 1 milliampere current which are flowing in this diode and 5 kilo ohm resistor should be coming from this R resistor. That means there is a 6 milliampere of current through this. The battery voltage is 25, subtracted by 5, there should be 20 volt of potential drop across this. They're asking the value of resistance, hence value of resistance should be the voltage drop across it 20 divided by current through it, which is 6 milliampere. You can just solve this. This is 10 by 3 kilo ohms. So this is an easy question based on Zener diode. Let's go to next question. The next question is based on Young's double slit experiment. Question is saying there are two different Young double slit experiments conducted with two different wavelengths of light such that fringe width are equal. Yesterday also we have seen in each paper we have seen a similar type of question in which some ratios they were asking. If the ratio of wavelength here is 1.1 by 2 and ratio of split separation is 2:1, they are asking d1 by d2. So the fringe width in the two cases are equal. Beta 1 is equal to beta 2. The fringe width can be written as lambda capital D by small d. Hence lambda 1 capital D by small d1 should be equal to lambda 2 capital D2 by small d2. You can just place the values of lambda ratio and small d ratio. So they're asking d1 by d2. d1 by d2 has to be equal to small d1 by small d2 into lambda 2 by lambda 1. Just put the values. The ratio of wavelength is 1:2, but I am writing lambda 2 by lambda 1, so I will put 2:1. The slit separation ratio is 2:1, so lambda 1 by lambda d1 by d2 is 2:1. If you see, this ratio is coming out to be 4. The best answer of this question is 4. I think this conclude our all questions which we'll have till now. Okay.
So hi students, this is 23rd January first shift paper, and this question came from the vector in which they are asking the value of a bar minus b bar dot d bar. Now if you see, vector d bar value is given c bar cross b bar. So substitute the value of vector d bar, which is c bar cross b bar. Now distribute it, so you will get a dot c cross b minus b dot c cross b. Now as you know, this second value is 0, okay, and this becomes now a dot c cross b only. A dot c cross b we can also write equal to c dot b cross a. Now you can see the question once again. C bar value is given a bar cross b bar, right? So put the value of that c bar, which is what? A bar cross b bar. Now this b bar cross a bar, once again we can write as what? Minus of a bar cross b bar. So this value now becomes equal to, so this b cross a I am writing as minus of a cross b, okay. So a cross b dot product with itself, that will become what? Mod of a cross b whole square. Now vectors a bar and b bar are given, so using the values of vectors a bar and b bar, we can find the a bar cross b bar vector and then its magnitude there. So you see a vector is given minus I cap plus j cap plus 2k cap, b vector given 2I cap minus j cap plus k cap. Using these vectors we can find a bar cross b bar, which will come 3i minus 5j minus k bar, right? So what is the modulus of A cross B? That is root over 9 plus 25 plus 1, that is root over 35. Now the required value was mod of A cross B whole square. So our answer will become what? Minus of 35, right? Which is first option. So required value is equal to minus of 35. That is your first option. Next question, you can see it is from conic sections, where they are giving an ellipse and a straight line y is equal to x plus 1. Now if you look at the dimensions of the ellipse, a square is equal to 2, so a value root 2, comparing with the standard form of ellipse. B square is 1, b is equal to 1 there, so that means we can say this point is what? 0 comma 1. Also if you notice the line y is equal to x plus 1, so y is equal to x plus 1 line also passes through 0 comma 1. So in advance we already know one point of intersection of both the ellipse and the line there. Let's say this point is A and this point is B there. Now by solving the equation of both ellipse and straight line, we can get both the points of intersection there. Okay. Now ellipse equation we can rewrite as x square plus 2y square minus 2 is equal to 0. In this, put y value from straight line to find the point of intersection. So x square plus 2 times y square. So that will become 2x square plus 4x plus 2, and there is already this minus 2. So finally what we get here? 3x square plus 4x is equal to 0. So for our points of intersection we get 2x values. One of them is x is equal to 0, another is minus 4 by 3. Corresponding to x is equal to 0, we already have the point A, 0 comma 1, and if we put x is equal to minus 4 by 3, okay, so we get y coordinate also. So x value minus 4 by 3 and y coordinate what? Minus 1 by 3. Now question is asking how much angle this AB is subtending at the center of the ellipse, right? So join B to the origin and A is already joined to the origin. So we want to know this total angle. So in this total angle, if you see this angle already clear to us 90 degree. So if we can find this angle also, let's say this angle alpha. So our answer will become what? Pi by 2 plus alpha. Pi by 2 plus alpha. Now let's focus on finding this alpha value. From B, you draw perpendicular on major axis of the ellipse. Let's say that point is D. So using the coordinates of point B, what is the distance BD? 1 by 3. And from x coordinate of point B, distance OD is equal to how much? 4 by 3. Okay, so OD is equal to 4 by 3. So what is our tan alpha? So tan alpha is equal to this perpendicular distance BD, which is 1 by 3, upon this distance OD. So 1 by 3 upon 4 by 3. So we can see here itself tan alpha is equal to tan alpha is equal to BD upon OD, which is 1 by 3 upon 4 by 3. So this becomes what? 1 by 4. So tan alpha is 1 by 4. So we can say alpha is equal to tan inverse of 1 by 4. So our required answer becomes pi by 2 and plus alpha value. That is what? Tan inverse of 1 by 4. Now let's see the option. Yeah. So first option is having that value. This question can be done by homogenization method also, but this is the simplest method for a student, straightforward method there. And then you see a question from definite integral. All of you are well aware of these type of model there. Okay. So if you see, first of all, we can many people know it as King's rule. Okay. Limits are pi by 4 to 5 pi by 24. Convert this tan 2x into what? Sin 2x and cos 2x. So denominator now becomes cos 2x power 1 by 3 plus sin 2x power 1 by 3. So using that property in the integral, I repeat, in the integral f of x we can replace as what? F of a plus b minus x there. That is sum of the limits minus same variable there. So I is equal to pi by 4 to 5 pi by 24. What is a plus b? Sum of the limits. So sum of the limits a plus b is equal to pi by 24 plus 5 pi by 24. That become what? 6 pi by 24 means pi by 4. Now all these x you will replace by what? A plus b minus x. That means x will be replaced by a plus b, which is pi by 4 minus x. So if you do that, cos 2 times of, you see this cos 2x. In this cos 2x, you replace x as what? X minus pi by 4. So we will get cos 2 times of x minus pi by 4. That becomes cos, sorry, that will become what? Pi by 4 minus x. We have to replace what? A plus b minus x, right? So that was what? Pi by 4 minus x. So this become pi by 2 minus 2x, which will become what? Sin 2x. In a similar way, if you do the substitution in sin 2x, it will give you what? Cos 2x, right? So as you have seen, cos 2x now convert into what? Sin 2x. Power remains unchanged, and sin 2x become what? Cos 2x. Now as usual, we will be adding two integrals. So I plus I, 2i value, okay. Both the integrals are having common denominator, so their numerators will directly add up, okay. And you see, on adding the two integrals, I plus I, 2i is equal to same limits, pi by 4 to 5 pi by 24. That denominator, and on adding I plus I, your numerators also add up, and you get the same value in the numerator also, same as denominator. So this become integral of 1 dx, which is what? X. Apply the limits. So after applying the limits, you get the value 5 pi by 24. This limit was pi by 24, right? So pi by 24, on evaluation we get 5 pi by 24 minus pi by 24. That becomes 4 pi by 24, means pi by 6, but that's not required value. This is the value of what? 2i, and we have to give the answer for what? I value. So I is equal to pi by 12. Let's see which option is having this value. So that is second option, having pi by 12 there, okay. Now let's see from which topic has come the next question. So it's a typical trigonometric equation based question. It's a very good question and may unsettle many students, as you might have realized also, those who have written the exam today. So everybody will go with the normal procedure only, okay. You will substitute cos 2 theta formula as 2 cos square theta minus 1. You will get a quadratic in cos theta. Then you will try to find the roots of this quadratic equation, that means values of cos theta from this quadratic, and that's when the real trouble start for students there, because the values are not so helpful for calculation there. So we need to act here smartly. You see, the number of solutions will depend on how many values of cos theta we are getting in its range there. That means a value of cos theta from this equation is acceptable only when that root is what? Between -1 to 1. So we will change the gears here. Let's say cos theta is equal to t. So this becomes a quadratic in t. So your new quadratic equation is 26t square plus 8t minus 13 plus 3 root 3 is equal to 0. Now we will get an idea about how many roots of this equation are between -1 to 1, because we have assumed cos theta is equal to t, so we can accept only those values of t which are between -1 to 1. Now let's have some idea about this quadratic equation. So you can clearly see discriminant is what? A positive number. That means this quadratic is going to have two real roots. Okay. About the vertex of this, as you know, every quadratic represents a parabolic graph there. So abscissa of this this parabolic graph there. Okay, for the vertex, abscissa for the vertex of this parabolic graph, minus b by 2a. So minus b by 2a means minus 8 by 52 means minus 2 by 13. So this number is what? T value minus 2 by 13. This is your t axis. Now let's find the value of, let's say this is f of t, this quadratic function which is present on the left side. Let's say this is f of t. So this is our f of t. Let's find the value of this quadratic at -1 and 1. So if you put -1, you get 26 minus 8 and minus 13 plus 3 root 3. As you can see, this is a negative number. Let's find out f of -1. So f of -1, you can check, comes out to be what? A negative number. That means -1 is between the roots only, somewhere here only. F of -1 is what? Negative. On the other hand, if you find f of 1, what was our f of t? Our f of t was 26t square plus 8t minus 13 plus 3 root 3 is equal to 0. Okay, 26t square plus 8t minus 13 plus 3 root 3 is equal to 0. So if you find f of 1, that is 26 plus 8, and this value is approximately root 3, 1.7. So this is approximately 5.1. So this is approximately what? 18.1 there, we can say. So even with this approximation, it's very clear that f of 1 is what? Positive number. F of 1 is a positive number. So from the graph of this quadratic, f of 1 is positive. So you see sequence of number -1, after that will come -2 by 3, and at f at 1, t is equal to 1, our quadratic is assuming positive value. So somewhere here is 1. So you see the roots of this equation. So you see this root of this t value is what? Less than -1, which is not acceptable, because we can accept only those t values which are in the interval what? Closed interval -1 to 1. Okay, so we get only one t value. You see this root. This root is between what? -1 to 1. This is your -1 and this is your 1. So between -1 to 1, there is only one root there. Okay. Now question is asking the roots of this equation from -3 pi to 2 pi. Okay, so let's see the graph of cos theta in this interval. So cos theta graph in the interval -3 pi to 2 pi. So let's first draw the graph up to 2 pi, then again up to -2 pi, and then up to -3 pi. So you see this cos theta value, some positive number. So we got only one acceptable root for t value, which is between -1 to 1. Okay, and that is a positive number. Okay, so cos theta is equal to some positive number. So you see, if you draw, you think in your mind any positive value of cos theta. Okay, let's say this is that value, root value, t value, right? So cos theta is equal to this value. So you see this value is achieved how many times? 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 times. So given equation is having what? 5 roots there. So this fourth option is correct there. Let's see the next question there. So next question is from differential equations. So guys, you see this next question is from differential equation. Again, they have tried their best to trouble the students, but see the question closely and immediately you will get the idea how to tackle it. So x power 4 dy is there. So x power 4 dy is there. Then 4x cube y dx is there. And then sin x dx is there equal to 0 given, right? So what I have done is I have distributed this 4x cube dx and then sin x dx. I have separated the terms there, right? Now immediately you will get a connection that 4x power 4 derivative 4x cube. So we can write this as together differential of what? X power 4 into y there, plus this we can say differential of what? Minus cos x. So instantly we get the solution of this equation, y into x power 4 minus cos x is equal to c. Now y value at pi by 2 is given equal to 0. So let's put x is equal to pi by 2. So if you put x is equal to pi by 2, this is 0 here, cos pi by 2 is also 0. So that means c value is also 0 there. Okay. So we get our solution y x power 4 minus cos x is equal to 0. That means what is y value? Cos x upon x power 4 there. That is the solution there. Now we need this value, y value at pi by 3 multiply with pi power 4 there. Okay. So let's first find y value at pi by 3. So put x is equal to pi by 3. So if you put x is equal to pi by 3, so on putting x is equal to pi by 3, let's see what y value coming. So y is equal to cos pi by 3 is your 1 by 2 and x power 4 will give you what? Pi power 4 upon 81. So that 81 goes up. So that will become so what is the required value? Required value is pi power 4 into this y value. Let's substitute this y value, which is what? 81 upon 2 times pi power 4. 81 into 81 divided by 2 times pi power 4 there. Okay. So pi power 4 will cancel and we get the required value as 81 by 2, which is present in your second option there. So here this is a moderate question and easy question. It can be any category you can keep there. If the idea strikes, it's easy question. Otherwise, just after a few seconds, you will definitely get the idea there. Let's see what is the question from which topic that next question is. So this is an area problem there. So as all of us aware that area problem will be slightly calculative there and we need some attention. So curve is simple only. So let's see. So we have to compare the graphs of sin x and cos x and pick their maximum as our f of x there. So this is your sin x graph. This is your cos x graph. Okay. And we need the area from x is equal to 0 to 3 pi by 2. We have to see the area from x is equal to 0 to 3 pi by 2. Now, so up to 3 pi by 2, this is the graph. Okay. Now let's draw sin x. So this is 0, this is your pi by 2. Okay, this is pi and this is your 3 pi by 2. Okay. Now like this, two graphs are going there. Let's pick the maximum of the two graphs. So I am distinguishing this sin x graph from cos x graph there. So first of all, let's put the maximum. So as you understand, maximum means we will choose the upper curve there. Okay. So what is behaving as upper curve? Let's see. So as upper curve up to 0 to pi by 4, this point of intersection pi by 4. This cos x is upper curve. After that, this sin x is upper curve, and it is continue to be upper curve up to what? This point of intersection. So cos x is equal to sin x. What are the intersection point? First point we got here pi by 4 there. Another point here 3 pi by 4 there. Right? X is equal to 3 pi by 4. After that 3 pi by 4 to 3 pi by 2. You see this cos x graph is upper graph there. Okay. So we have to find the area bounded by this curve and x-axis. So area is bounded by what? Curve and x-axis. This curve fx and x-axis between the limit 0 to 3 pi by 2. So required area, let's shade it, do the shading of this area there. Okay. So this area, so area bounded by curve and x-axis. This is your x-axis going, okay, from x is equal to 0. This is your x is equal to 0, and at x up to x is equal to 3 pi by 2. So area bounded with x-axis. Keep a focus on area bounded with x-axis. So this total area we wish to find there. Now we need to have a calculation strategy for finding this area. You can have any ways there. Okay. What I will do is 0 to pi by 4. Find out this area. 0 to pi by 4, find out this area. We can say area bounded by what? Cos x and sin x. 0 to pi by 4. Right. So upper curve minus lower curve. Cos x minus sin x. Then we can calculate this area, which is bounded by this cup of sin x and x-axis, from where 0 to pi. So 0 to pi sin x dx. Then we need to focus on this area. Now if you look at this area, I am showing you a separate view of this area. Like this it is going there, from pi to 3 pi by 2, and this point is what? 3 pi by 4. So from symmetry, this much area will be same as this much area there. Okay. So I am just calculating this area, and I will do double of that. So plus 2 times of integrating from where? Pi to 3 pi by 4. Now as you can see, this branch is belonging to what? Sin x. Now sin x is negative, so for calculating the area we will use mod of sin x, which will make it what? Minus sin x. So that minus I am putting here. Okay. Sin x dx. Let's calculate the value of each one. So there are 3 parts, we can say: this integral value, second integral value, and the third integral value. So let's first focus on the first integral value there. 0 to pi by 4 cos x minus sin x dx. Let's say this value is what? I1. We can multiply and divide by root 2, and that will become what? Cos of x plus pi by 4. Cos of x plus pi by 4. On integrating, that will give you what? Sin of x plus pi by 4. Apply the limits 0 to pi by 4. So on applying the limit pi by 4, this will become sin pi by 2 1, and 0 will give you what? 1 by root 2. So that is root 2 times 1 minus 1 by root 2. So I1 is root 2 minus 1. I2 was this area. I2 was this area, 0 to pi integral of sin x. 0 to pi integral of sin x, which is 2. 0 to pi sin x. We can quickly integrate. Anyway, everybody know this value because we have calculated it many times. Minus of cos x, 0 to pi. So that gives you what? 2. Then third value in the area parts, I3, which is 2 times pi to 5 pi by 4. This point of intersection is your 5 pi by 4. This was pi and this is what? 5 pi by 4. So so that integral is pi to 5 pi by 4 sin x dx. So 2 times pi to 5 pi by 4 sin x dx. So that becomes minus cos x. Evaluate the integral. So you get minus 2 times cos 5 pi by 4 minus 1 by root 2 minus cos pi. So that will become plus 1. So that value become what? Root 2 minus 2. Root 2 minus 2 there. Now what is our required value? Our required value is I1 plus I2 and this whole thing is our I3. This whole thing is our I3. So our answer is what? I1 plus I2 minus I3. I1 plus I2 minus I3. So I1 plus I2 minus I3. So I1 plus I2, this is your I1, this is your I2, and from there we have to do what? Minus I3 there. So what value we get there? Root 2 minus 1, I am doing here separately there. I1 root 2 minus 1, I2 which is 2 and minus I3. So minus I3 will make it what? 2 minus root 2 there. So root 2 cancel and that area value which question is saying capital A is equal to 3 there, right? And the value question is asking is what? A plus A square. The value question is asking A plus A square. So A is equal to 3 means this is 9. So 3 plus 9, 12 is your answer. A plus A square is equal to 12. Let's see the next question.
Hi everyone. Here we will discuss few questions which are coming in the January 23rd morning session. We'll see few chemistry questions and they are preferably memory based questions. And here the first question, if you see, consider the following graph of concentration versus time, and the graph is given. The graph is with respect to concentration on y-axis and time is on x-axis. Here they are asking to calculate find half-life of a reaction. See, in this question, there are two parts are there to identify the half-life of reaction. First of all, we have to know what is the order of reaction, isn't it? Once if you know the order of reaction, then we can identify the half-life of reaction. So in this case, first we have to identify what is the order of reaction. You can see from this graph, it shows that it is a zero order reaction. The integrated rate equation for zero order reaction is what? That is Kt is equals to, let us assume the initial concentration is A0 and concentration of the reactant after some time is T. So this is a integrated rate equation for zero order reaction. So for this reaction, if you draw a graph and this you convert in this format, the concentration versus time, and that is At is equals to A0 minus Kt. And this equation look like y equal to minus mx plus c type of the graph, and that is the same graph is given here. So so it should be a zero order reaction. Or else we can identify another way from the given information what is the order of reaction. And again, if you see here in the graph, initially at a time t equal to 0, the concentration is given 0.6 molar, isn't it? And after some time, so here after 100 seconds from the graph, the concentration is changed to 0.55. Again, after again 100 seconds, the concentration is changed to 200. After 200 seconds, and again 100 seconds, the concentration is changes to 0.5 molar. So here to here the time is 100 seconds, and here to here also it is 100 seconds, from 0.6 to 0.55 and 0.55 to 0.5. The time required is 100 seconds. So it shows that the decrement in the concentration, if you see from here to here 0.6 to 0.55, the change in concentration is 0.05. Again from 0.55 to 0.5, the change in concentration is 0.05. So for the same time interval, the concentration consumed is the same. So this data also confirms that the rate is of zero order reaction. So from this, either from the equation or from the data, we can conclude that it is a zero order reaction. So now we can identify the half-life for a zero order reaction. So what is the half-life for zero order reaction? The formula is T of is equals to A0, means initial concentration of reactant by 2K. So in this particular case, for this formula, the data we required, initial concentration, anyhow it is given in the graph, that is 0.6 molar, but one more you required the rate constant K. Then how to identify the rate constant K? This we can identify from the equation. K is equals to, that is initial concentration, change concentration, that is a 0.6 minus 0.55 by time 100, and this value we can substitute in the half-life. Here you are going to get the value, this is 0.05 into 10 power minus 2, and this is a rate constant K. This value you can substitute in this half-life, then we are going to get half-life is equals to A naught, again this is 0.6 by, what is the K value here? It is a twice, 2 into 0.05 into 10 power minus 2. And if you simplify this one, we are going to get 600. So 600 seconds, and it is the first option. So for this, the answer is the first option, 600 seconds. So next we can see the other question. And second question here, a binary solution is formed by mixing acetone and carbon disulfide. The variation of vapor pressure versus mole fraction will be. Here they gave the graphical data, and which graph shoots for the given information we have to identify. And first of all, we have to identify from the given information, and when we mix these acetone and carbon disulfide, what type of solution we are going to get, what is the nature of the solution, is it ideal solution or non-ideal solution, then only we can identify the respective graphs. Again, in the non-ideal solution, it may be positive deviated from the Raoult's law or negatively deviated from the Raoult's law, that we have to identify first. So here acetone and carbon disulfide generally can form positively deviated solution. Then how to identify the solution is positively deviated or negatively deviated? That is based on the interaction between the acetone and carbon disulfide. And we know that acetone is a polar molecule, and this carbon disulfide is a non-polar molecule. Normally when you mix these two, when you mix these two liquids together, then polar compounds, to this polar compound when you add non-polar, initially the interaction between the acetone, polar dipole interactions will be there. When you add the non-polar compound, so carbon disulfide, the resultant solution, the interaction between the solute and solvent or solvent solute interactions compared to initial one is lower. Initially the let us assume here acetone is a solvent and carbon disulfide is a solute. See here solvent interactions are very high in case of acetone, and whereas in case of solute these are non-polar interactions. But when we add this carbon disulfide to the acetone, the polar interactions are going to be decreases. Why? Because this carbon dioxide is going to be disturb the interaction between the solvent molecules. So hence the resultant solution interaction, that is the solvent solute interactions, are lower than the solvent and solute interactions. Hence the resultant solution we are going to get positively deviated solution. It shows a positive deviation with respect to the Raoult's law. So now we have to identify the which graph represents the positive deviation from the Raoult's law. You can see clearly here there are four options are there. In these four options, if you see first option and fourth option, first option, fourth option, both shows the positive deviation. So this one and this one, it shows a positive deviation, the graph here for carbon disulfide and acetone. Then among these two, which is again the correct graph that we have to identify, that is with respect to their partial vapor pressures of the acetone and carbon disulfide. Here you can see in the first graph, the vapor pressure of carbon disulfide is given here, the total vapor pressure of the carbon disulfide, and for acetone this is the vapor pressure of the acetone. And the fourth graph we see, and the acetone vapor pressure is this one and its mole fraction is 1, and the carbon disulfide vapor pressure is this one. Now we see and acetone and carbon disulfide, and which is having the higher vapor pressure, and we know that here carbon disulfide is a non-polar solvent and whereas acetone is a polar solvent. Hence carbon disulfide should have the higher vapor pressure compared to the acetone. So among these two graphs, among the first and fourth, the first one should be the correct answer, even though both represents a positive deviation. But again you have to check very carefully in these two graphs, the first one is a correct one. Why? Because the carbon disulfide, it shows higher vapor pressure than the acetone. But in case of fourth graph, if you see your acetone, it shows the more vapor pressure than the carbon disulfide. Very careful while putting the answer with respect to the first and fourth option in this particular case. And similarly we can see other question, next question, and is the question from organic chemistry. Consider the following reaction. One reaction sequence is given, and from that we have to identify what is the structure of P, that is a reactant we have to identify. And you see clearly in the first of all you check the product, what is given, this is a isocyanide. Normally isocyanide will be formed when aniline reacts with the chloroform. This is the isocyanide test. Okay, na? So you can go for the backward direction to identify the correct option, or else you can take the fourth options, you can put in the place of P and you check the reaction sequence you are going to get, which case is the correct option. You can check like that also. Either way you can check which is the correct option. Here we can go for the backward direction from product to reactant. If you move in this particular case, and it is isocyanide, when you treat with the chloroform, we are going to get isocyanide. Means what? Here the compound should be the aniline. I am coming backward direction. Let me go like this. This is the isocyanide. Let me change the color once. So we have the isocyanide. How it will come isocyanide? And if it is the aniline, that aniline you treat with the chloroform in presence of the base. So we are going to get this isocyanide. Again see, this aniline is coming from where? Some compound Q, and that is treated with bromine in presence of potassium hydroxide. So it shows that we are going to get primary amine. So it should be compulsorily Hoffman bromide degradation reaction. So the previous compound should be what? It should be an amide. So when amide is treated with bromine in presence of potassium hydroxide, what happens? Hofmann bromide degradation. We are going to get the amine compound where one carbon is less than the parent compound. Just here a removal of this C double bond O will take place. Okay, we are going to get directly this aniline compound. Next again, and this is coming from where? Some compound initial reactant to P, and that is treated with ammonia. Okay, na? Here, and this compound, initial compound, when you treat with ammonia, we should get this amide. When we are going to get amide, the initial compound compulsorily should be the acid. That should be the carboxylic acid. When benzoic acid, if we treat with ammonia at some temperature condition, and this carboxylic acid is converted to benzamide. This benzamide, when you treat with bromine in presence of base, we are going to get aniline. That aniline, if we treat with chloroform, we are going to get isocyanate. Hence, in this particular case, the option should be, what could be the option here? It should be fourth option, that is a benzoic acid. Okay, na? So these are the questions given in the JEE Mains 23rd morning session. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Prasad Babu, Senior Mathematics Lecturer in Narayana Group. Today we will discuss 23rd January Session 1 Shift 1 Maths paper. Coming to this question related to the binomial theorem. If coefficients of x square and x cube are in arithmetic progression of the binomial expansion of 1 plus x square whole square into 1 plus x whole power n belongs to n, you have to find out sum of all values of n. So here given the binomial expansion 1 plus x square whole square into 1 plus x whole power n. This can also be written as 1 plus x power 4 plus 2x square, just expanding 1 plus x square whole square. And using binomial theorem, if you expand this 1 plus x whole power n, we get nc0 plus nc1 into x plus nc2 into x square plus and so on ncn into x power n. Now, what is given in the question is coefficient of x and coefficient of x square, coefficient of x cube are in AP. So, in this expansion, coefficient of x is obtained by multiplying this 1 with this nc1 into x. So, that is nc1. So, only one term is there, that is x coefficient. Next to coefficient of x square. To get x square coefficient, you have to multiply this 1 with this term and this 2x square with this constant. So, now x square coefficient is nc2 into 1 plus 2 times nc0. nc0 is 1, that is this is nc2 plus 2. Next, coefficient of x cube. Coefficient of x cube, that is obtained by multiplying this 1 with this x cube term, that is nothing but nc3 into x cube, and this 2x square with this nc1 into x, that will give 2 times nc1. This is x cube coefficient. Now, what is given in the data? These three, that is nc1 nothing but n, and nc2 plus 2, that is n into n minus 1 by 2 plus 2, and nc3 plus 2 into n. nc3 is n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 by 3 into 2 into 1 plus 2 into nc1, that is n. Given that these three are in AP, this is given. Since these three are in AP, we know that if three numbers are in AP, we have relation between them is 2b is equal to a plus c. That's why we have 2 times n into n minus 1 by 2 plus 2 is equal to n plus n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 by 6 plus 2n. 2b is equal to a plus c. That is the condition for the three numbers are in AP. Now, if you solve this equation, we get a cubic equation in n. That cubic equation in n is n cube. Cubic equation in n is n cube minus 9n square plus 26n minus 24 is equal to 0. After simplification, you get this one. Now, if you solve this first by inspection, you get n is equal to satisfies this. Then after division with n minus 2, we get other two factors. So the values of n that satisfies this are 2, 3, 4. But if n is 2, NC3 is not defined. NCR is defined only when n is greater than or equal to r. That's why the values of n are 3 and 4. So what do you want here? Sum of the values of n. Sum of the values of n is 3 plus 4. That is 7. So given here, what is given here? One binomial expansion, and also given that sum of the coefficients of x is coming to the next question. The mean and variance of 8 observations -10, -7, -1, x, y, 16, 2, 9 are 7/2 and 293/4 respectively. Then the mean of x comma y comma x plus y plus 1 mod of x minus y is. So to find the mean of these 4 observations, first we have to find out x and y. For finding x and y, what is given here? The mean of 8 observations. You know, the mean of the observations is sum of the observations by number of observations. So here sum of the observations is -10, -7, -1, x plus y plus 16 plus 2 plus 9, and number of observations is 8. And given that the mean is 7/2, so from that we get a relation between x and y, and that relation is x plus y is equal to 19. And also given the variance, we know that variance is sigma xi square by n minus x bar square, and sigma xi square, that is sum of the squares of the observation, that is the numerator, is 100 plus 49 plus 1 plus x square plus y square plus 256 plus 4 plus 9 by n is nothing but 8 minus 7/2 whole square, because mean is given 7/2, and also variance is given as 293/4. This gives another relation in x and y, and that relation, after simplifying this, we get x square plus y square is equal to 193. Now we have two equations. One is x plus y is equal to 19. Another one is x square plus y square is equal to 193. Solving these two, we get xy. Solving 1 and 2, we get xy values. We get x12 and y7. Now what do you want? The mean of these. So mean of x, y, x plus y plus 1 and mod of x minus y is x plus y plus x plus y plus 1 plus mod of x minus y by number of terms here is 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. This is equal to, now if we substitute x is equal to 12 and y is equal to 7 in this, we get sum is 44. So the total mean of this is 11 after substituting x, y 12 and 7 and simplifying this. So it is very simple question, direct formulas, mean formula and variance formula only. And coming to the next, it's a question based on integration. Given fx is equal to integral e power x into 2 minus x square by root of 1 plus x into 1 minus x whole power 3 by 2 dx. And also given that f of 0 is 0, then we have to find out f of 1 by 2. So first, simplify this one. Whenever we have integration, it e power x into something is given. This is mostly the application of e power x into fx plus f dash x form. So that's why I am going to split this 2 minus x square by root of 1 plus x into 1 minus x whole power 3 by 2 like this. This is integral e power x into, this can be written as 1 plus 1 minus x square by, the denominator is root of 1 plus x into, this 1 minus x whole power 3 by 2 can be written as 1 minus x into root of 1 minus x. Now it is integral e power x into 1 plus 1 minus x square by, coming to denominator, root of 1 plus x into root of 1 minus x is root of 1 minus x square into 1 minus x. Now this is integral. So taking separate, 1 by root of 1 minus x square into 1 minus x plus 1 minus x square by root of 1 minus x square into 1 minus x. This is integral e power x into 1 by root of 1 minus x square into 1 minus x plus this second term, this one, 1 minus x square by root of 1 minus x square into 1 minus x can be written as root of 1 plus x by 1 minus x. This 1 minus x square can be written as 1 minus x into 1 plus x. 1 minus x cancel with this denominator. Later we get this one. So here this is fx and this is its derivative. So if you use e power x into fx plus f dash x formula, this will be integral, if you compare that with integral e power x into fx plus f dash x, here our fx is root of 1 plus x by 1 minus x. So therefore this is e power x into root of 1 plus x by 1 minus x plus c. To find this integral constant c, given here f of 0 is 0. So put x 0, we get f of 0 is equal to e power 0, that is 1, into root of 1 plus 0 by 1 minus 0, that is also 1, plus c. Since f of 0 is 0, we have c is minus 1. Therefore f of x is e power x into root of 1 plus x by 1 minus x minus 1. And what do you want actually? F of 1 by 2. So now put x 1 by 2 in this. If x is 1 by 2, f of 1 by 2 is e power 1 by 2 into root of 1 plus 1 by 2 by 1 minus 1 by 2 minus 1. So this will be root e into root 3 minus 1. So therefore f of 1 by 2 is root 3 minus 1. So it is application of e power x into fx plus f dash x. Here the difficulty is converting this 2 minus x square by root of 1 plus x into 1 minus x whole power 3 by 2 into the form fx plus f dash x. So identifying what is fx and what is f dash x in this is the only difficulty. Remaining simple only. Now coming to the next question. A is a square matrix of order 3 and X is det 3 into adjoint of A square into adjoint of 2A, and that A is equal to 6, and also given that X is 2 power n into 3 power m, then m plus n. So here it is application of the properties of determinant of A, determinant of adjoint A, and determinant of adjoint K, these properties. So now take X is given det 3 into adjoint of A square into adjoint of 2A. This can be written as, it is in the form K into A. If you treat this total product is A, and we know determinant of Ka is K power n into determinant of A. So here K is 3, n is also 3, n is order of the square matrix. So it is 3 cube into determinant of, and we know that adjoint A square is adjoint A whole square and to adjoint 2A. And we know that determinant of the product of two matrices is product of their determinants. That is, determinant of AB is det A into det B. So you can write this as det adjoint A whole square into det adjoint 2A. So it is 3 cube into det adjoint A square into det adjoint 2A. And this is 3 cube into, and we know determinant of A power n is det A whole power n. So you can write this as determinant of adjoint A whole square, and adjoint of Ka is K power n minus 1 into adjoint A. Here n is order of the matrix. So using that property, this is 2 square into adjoint A. Just taking this 2 outside this adjoint. Now this is 3 cube into, and we know determinant of adjoint A is det A power n minus 1. Here n is 3, so that's why it is det A square. Already one square is there. That's why it becomes det A power 4. And this 2 square, taking outside the determinant, it takes the form det Ka, that is K power n into det A. So again, this is det, taking 2 square outside, it is 4 cube. 2 square is 4. Using det Ka property, it is 4 cube into det adjoint A. This is 3 cube into det A power 4, and 4 cube is 2 square whole cube, 2 power 6, and det adjoint A is det A square again because n is 3. So it is 3 cube into 2 power 6 into det A power 6. This is 3 cube into 2 power 6 into, given det A value in the question, that is 6. So 6 power 6 can be written as 2 power 6 into 3 power 6. Now this is 3 power 9 into 2 power 12. So n become 12 when you compare this with the given data. N is 2 power n into 3 power n given. So n is 12 and m is 9. Therefore m plus n is 12 plus 9, that is 21. So it's all formula based. So many formulas you are using here. One is determinant of Ka, that is K power n into det A. Adjoint of Ka, K power n minus 1 into adjoint A. And det AB, det A into det B. And det adjoint A, det A power n minus 1. If you know the fundamental formulas related to this, then this question is very simple. See this question. Let the domain of fx is log of 9x minus x square minus 13 to the base 7 to the base 5 to the base 3 is open Mn. Let n by 3 and 3m by 8 be eccentricity and length of lattice rectum of the hyperbola. X square by a square minus y square by b square is 1. Then the value of a plus b square by a minus b square. So this is the question related to mixing of two concepts. One is the functions and the second one is a conic section, hyperbola. Now first to find m and n, first we have to find out domain of this function. See this function given, fx is log of log 9x minus x square minus 13 to the base 7 to the base 5 to the base 3. This is defined if log 9x minus x square minus 13 to the base 7 and to the base 5 greater than 0. To define this logarithmic function, this must be greater than 0. Now, using the logarithmic property, you know log x to the base a greater than y implies x is greater than a power y if a is greater than 1. If base is more than 1, logarithmic function is increasing function. That's why same inequality holds here. So since here base is 5, it is greater than 1. So that's why we have this one. Log of 9x minus x square minus 13 to the base 7 greater than 5 power 0. That is 1. Similarly, applying the same property, here base is 7, that is also more than 1. So applying the same, we get 9x minus x square minus 13 greater than 7. Now we get a quadratic inequality here, that is 9x minus x square minus 20 greater than 0. This can also be written as x square minus 9x plus 20 less than 0. So this is a quadratic inequality. So solving this, we get x minus 4 into x minus 5 less than 0. So we'll give x belongs to 4, 5 using wavy curve. Now comparing this with the domain given in the question, what is given in the question? Domain is open m comma n. So m is 4 and n is 5. Given here, eccentricity is n by 3. So E is equal to n by 3, that is 5 by 3. And length of lattice rectum, that is 3m by 8. This is 3 into m is 4 by 8. This will be 3 by 2. And we know length of lattice rectum is 2b square by a. Length of lattice rectum is 2b square by a. So given this is 3 by 2. From this we get b square by a is 3 by 4. Now what is our required one? A plus b square by a minus b square. This can also be written as 1 plus b square by a by 1 minus b square by a. Just divide the numerator and denominator with a. And we know the value of b square by a. Substitute. We get 1 plus 3 by 4 by 1 minus 3 by 4. 7 by 4 by 1 by 4, that is 7. And here actually this logarithmic function, first logarithmic function is defined if this is positive, and the second logarithmic function is defined, this is positive. Actually here we get this is greater than 1. So this also includes greater than 0. That's why no need to consider that separately. Similarly, this logarithmic function is defined if this is greater than 0. But actually here we got 9x minus x square minus 13 greater than 7. So that contains the greater than 0 also. That's why if you write this one directly, this itself will give the domain of the function. If point B and C lies on the line, x by 1 is equal to 1 minus y by minus 2 is equal to z minus 2 by 3, and the point A is 163. If BC is 10, then area of triangle ABC. So given a line, this is BC. Given its equation is x by 1 is equal to y minus 1 by 2. Actually, it is given 1 minus y minus 2. Multiply the numerator denominator with minus 1. You get y minus 1 by 2 is equal to z minus 2 by 3. And also given that length of BC, that is 10. And vertex A coordinates are 1, 6, 3. To find area of the triangle ABC, find the height that is obtained by taking the perpendicular from A onto BC. I want AD length. To find AD length, first you find D, that is foot of the perpendicular drawn from A to the line BC. So we know that any point on the line BC is in this form. So let us take D is lambda, 2 lambda plus 1, 3 lambda plus 2. To find that lambda, use the property that AD is perpendicular to BC. So what are DRs of AD? DRs of AD are lambda minus 1, 2 lambda plus 1 minus 6, nothing but 2 lambda minus 5, 3 lambda plus 2 minus 3, that is 3 lambda minus 1. And DRs of given line, that is BC. DRs of given line are 1, 2, 3. Here AD is perpendicular to BC. That's why we have the property A1, A2 plus B1, B2 plus C1, C2, 0. Using that, we get 1 into lambda minus 1 plus 2 into 2 lambda minus 5 plus 3 into 3 lambda minus 1 is equal to 0. So simplifying this, we get lambda 1. And substitute lambda 1 in D. We get coordinates of D, that is 1 comma 2 lambda plus 1, 3, 3 lambda plus 2, 5. Now distance between A and D will give height of the triangle. So AD is equal to, here D is 135. What is AD length? Square root of 0 plus 6 minus 3 whole square, 3 minus 5 whole square, that is root 13. Now area of triangle ABC is half into base into height. So this is 5 root 13, because BC is 10 given. So 1 by 2 into 10 into root 13, that is 5 root 13. That is second option. So it's a very simple question. To find area, what you need is the foot of the perpendicular from A onto the line. Then find AD distance, that will give height of the triangle. Base of the triangle is given in the question itself. So area of the triangle become 5 root 13.